And that was great. I especially love the medical use cases. We had some folks from the VA on our podcast, Arbor, XR Industry Leaders with Arbor. And if you didn't know this, the VA, I think every VA hospital in North America is using VR with several applications. So very, very cool. And hopefully we didn't just scoot by Ryan saying, I think, an 1,800% return. That was the one pretty powerful number that we just kind of scooted by. I think that's pretty significant. So we're going to finish with a case study, and no pressure to the Raytheon guys. They say that we saved the best for last, so we'll see how this rolls. They're going to talk about extended reality and advanced visualization, specifically in immersive design centers. And I'm not going to give everyone's bio. I'll let you guys do that. But we'll say we've got James, Nicholas, and Brent. So bring us home, and then we'll head to the cocktail hour. You guys got mics?
We're going to use those, okay. And then I'll just grab them. We don't get the preview, though. Okay, hi everyone. James Cooper right here. I have been tasked with getting us towards the meat of the talk and do the Q&A as quickly as possible. I'm already wasting time, so let's get right to it. We are, with Raytheon, thanks, you're here at our case study. We are going to be talking about, we're all from our Immersive Design Centers, or IDCs. I am James, this is Nick, this is Brent, this is James. Okay, we are there. Awesome. So we are RTX. I know all the materials say Raytheon Technologies. Ignore that. That is no longer true as of July. We kind of had our Facebook becomes meta moment, but we are all RTX. Collins Aerospace, which Ryan was from, Pratt & Whitney Engines, and Raytheon. We are a big aerospace and defense company.
All right, well, I'll go next. So we're with the Immersive Design Centers, and I know it's late, sorry you guys. I don't want this to sound like the Peanuts wah, 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 wah at the end, but we do a lot of different things in here. What we're showing on the screen right now are our actual buildings, our large-scale visual real estate that we use. But what we're going to talk about is not that. We're going to be talking about what the Immersive Design Centers are outside of that, what we bring. So the digital technologies and the discriminators that we really have in this business.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our use cases in the Immersive Design Center, using these centers as a part of our business technology stack. One of our biggest use case here is business development. When customers come visit, maybe there's a product that we want to review, or some sort of new design that they're looking at. We could put these in AR headsets, VR headsets, and also on our really large visualization displays in the room. Creates a really unique immersive experience for our customers. It's one of the biggest use cases. The other one I'll dive into is new concept exploration. If there's something new, a new design or take on a certain product, we could also do a mock-up before it goes into production, show the customer, get sign-off on stuff like that. We also, I'll dive into quickly design and production. One of the second biggest use case for these centers is model-based design, model-based reviews. Before these products go into manufacturing, go through production, we want to have engineers in the room to look at the designs and visualize these in different ways. One of the biggest, right, is taking something in AR, walking around with it with a team, maybe bringing physical items into a room with an augmented reality model, like a wrench or something like that, and see if that physical tool could service a specific product. Another one Nick's going to talk about later on is reality capture, which is pretty cool. I'll leave that for you, Nick. Another big one, we designed our radar facility using a facility design and layout in augmented reality, VR as well. And virtual training is also a big one too. So getting hands-on training before actually using the product. Outreach is another one. We do a lot of STEM activities, events. We'll bring in folks to the Immersive Design Centers and we have a university outreach program where we work with interns on new technology projects Really, really cool things happening. And Brent will talk about that too. Dr. Brent will talk about that in the next slide. Next slide. So the IDCs, we're pushing the boundaries, right, in innovation and technology. We're really poised. The attractive thing about the Immersive Design Centers is our subject matter experts, our resident subject matter experts, are not only advanced visualization experts, but we have developers too to do quick turn proof of concept development. And here, these are the three kind of pillars that I really want to talk about. The first one being remote collaboration. We have a remote collaboration service in production right now called VirtualWorks. Justin Breck is actually in the audience here. I highly recommend talking to him and about some remote assistance technologies. He's the expert there. We're looking at also internally and externally at augmented reality collaboration. So physical co-location in the same room, multiple headsets, devices, looking at a model, dissecting it, reviewing it with a team. We do center-to-center visualization, connecting our centers, not only our headsets, but our physical rooms to do design reviews and model reviews, and telerobotic visualization as well. So I'm gonna pass this off to Nick, he's expert here with reality captures.
Yeah. So reality capture to me, I wrapped it all up into one category because it's originally laser scanning, and photogrammetry was what we actually brought into the company. We did it for OEM, and it started moving into the engineering world, where we started doing near-range scanning and reverse engineering and all that, and then we started doing fit checks with those again in AR and VR devices. And we were doing 3D reconstruction. We actually have patents on that as well. The 360 video came aside from that, where we're now doing assemblies and training and tours and witnessing events and whatever we need to do. It also now has evolved into drone so that we can actually fill the gaps between where we're jumping around with 360 videos. But it has been a very, very booming industry for us. We have a lot of ROI with that, especially with our engineering groups. And when our folks are dealing with attrition, that's where we're really picking up on that. And then Dr. Dingle is going to talk about XR research.
So in the IDC, we obviously get to do a large number of things, and a lot of these things, the remote collaboration, the reality capture, and almost everything else has come from, as people have spoken earlier today, about listening to the people. So we have this wonderful display, and they come in and we watch what they do. It's how Nick gets half of his jobs for the reality capture. It's how we got a lot of the remote inspection and maintenance ideas. And to support that, we actually have to do a lot of research and development. It's one of the reasons we're here, because we also have to keep track of what's available in the industry. So what can we use, how can we use it, and how does it fit into our processes? And then we also have to worry about how are we going to sell it if we actually want it. But the real question, the real thing that we do is listen to what the people say in the room while they're using this advanced technology. And when they say, hey, what if we could do this? That falls to part of what I do is actually research and development. So we develop our in-house software. We create possibly automated pipelines. We will look at the infrastructure for the enterprise, particularly on the DT side, where are the roadblocks at. That also includes a lot of the stuff that we're looking at today is how can we actually use it and how will we ever modify or what do we have to change in our infrastructure to be able to use it? Is it always the same thing? How many things are it? And we try to find those points ahead of time before we actually need the devices. So while we're a room, we have a lot of different skills, and a lot of it is just listening and trying to figure out what all these tools that we see here, which ones can we actually use. Going into the future, we also have to think farther into the future. And there's been a lot of talk about XR and AI and other possibilities. So I'll let James bring us to an end here.
All right, so yeah, as was mentioned, we bring a lot of solutions. We engineer a lot of solutions. We do a lot of listening, a lot of R&D, and we also try to look forward at what's next, what's going to bring value to the customers. what do our customers, being mostly internal people within our company, what might they not need right now at this moment, but they could use somewhere down the road, either in a couple of years or maybe a little further down the line? So looking at things like the metaverse, this shared platform, the shared data space that we all exist within, that we're able to pass around models or work together better on, much more connected in this virtual data layer sense. Or XR and AI, looking at the expo floor, seeing a lot of companies out there that are trying to bring AI in a meaningful way to their XR solutions. So we're definitely thinking a lot about that kind of things as well. And then technology convergences, just all the other ways. Raytheon, RTX, big company, lots of really cool technologies going on all over the place, including advanced visualization, but a lot of other stuff as well. How might these things come together, and what role might we play as the Immersive Design Centers in helping to facilitate bringing that all together and bringing it to all of our employees to actually take advantage of? So very short video going to play right here while I'm talking. So now we're already into Q&A. I hopefully succeeded in driving us towards this. We have 3 questions that I saw online, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with one of those, and if any of you have a question, you can pop in right after that. But starting with the first question, what is the biggest resistance you've met and overcome on the XR journey? Any of you?
I could take. So the resistance barrier, I think the biggest one in my opinion was the getting the whole device management compliance aspect of what we do. I think that a lot of folks will come in with the technology and it's shiny and okay, now what do we do with it? Oh, we can't use it, right? So spending some time understanding from a compliance aspect, making sure you're talking to your IT folks. We in the IDCs we have that unique capability of subject matter experts, including IT, where we could quickly stand up proof of concepts and help incubate some of these technologies.
Sorry, I also think that the cloud is one big barrier that we're still working on. A lot of companies are not using on-prem solutions. It costs a lot of money. It's a different kind of business aspect. But as Brian did when he said, if I could ask for somebody to do something, that would be the next thing is, hey, can we have some on-prem solutions? Because all of us can't live in that same environment, but we want to use the toys. So we need to get there and use all those things.
All right, any questions in the room that we want to jump to next? Or shall I go? Okay, I'm going to read the next question then. In a visualization lifecycle, when CAD to digital twin happens? So I guess when does that transit? I guess I'll start off by initially saying it should always be there. We're not really honestly there yet. We talk about digital transformation. That's a big thing that we are trying to accomplish across all of RTX. Theoretically, if we do it right, there is no when that happens. It's always there. It's always part of the digital thread, the digital twins. But any other answers you guys want to toss in? Or?
I have a comment. It's vaguely related. As you said, the digital twin should always be there. And a lot of the tools that we've tried to use, it ends up cutting that thread. And that's actually one of the bigger, it gets back to the first question, I guess. It's one of the bigger problems we have in adapting a lot of the new technologies available is that the way we do our modeling, you can't pull, if you really wanted it through the whole life cycle, it starts with the engineer and it goes all the way down to the factory worker or the guy that's doing the maintenance. And when you have a tool that requires you to copy that model out to a different piece of software, and while you could do a design review on it, it's still out here. It's not in the actual digital thread that you need. So if I had any advice is when you design these tools, if you can see that we could do a design review of a model of some kind, make sure that when the tool's incorporated into this process, that if you make comments out here, you can keep the comments in that digital thread. So, and like I said, as we said, it should start at the very beginning. If it doesn't, make sure it stays in it. That's all I got.
I see a question.
I'm coming.
Sure. Ron Thompson with Kale. Any insights on areas of significant opportunity with XR or emerging technologies in the space?
Yeah, I mean, so that kind of ties. Oh, all right, okay, fine. So that kind of ties into what talking about in that final slide there with what we're looking ahead at, and I think there is a lot of opportunity. Talking about the metaverse, and so 3 years ago, our company went through a large merger with United Technologies. So we got Collins and Pratt & Whitney and Raytheon, and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to work together. But having this shared, whether you call it the metaverse or whatever you might call it, but having this environment in which we can all get together and collaborate and look at models and like Brent was talking about, being able to annotate things and push and pull things back into our PLM. Having that really integrated, cohesive environment, I think, is a terrific opportunity, and I would really love to see us get there in the near future, and hopefully we will. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. James, definitely the best voice of the day, no question.
James.
Wow. Yeah, that's green shirt. All right, well, I think we made it to the end as you guys come down. I've enjoyed spending the day with you all. We made it through day 1 of the 10th AES, which I think is really cool. If you have device management needs for XR, come check out our booth. Like I said, when I opened up this morning, we work with almost 100 of the Fortune 500 Global 2000, so probably a lot of your peers, if you aren't working with us today. We'd love to visit with you. It's been great, and we can enjoy some drinks. I think, is there final announcements somewhere?
Yeah, let's all give Brad a big round of applause.
Yeah, that's the final announcement I was looking for, is a round of applause. Any other announcements?
Drink time.
Okay, drink time, and then tomorrow starts back at, make sure you come 5 till, so whoever's emceeing tomorrow, they get their 5 minutes with you. So thank you all.